What if one single mistake completely rewrites your entire life? A young student, a forbidden relationship, and a decision that changes everything forever. This is the story of Margo, and what happens to her is something she never saw coming. We begin in sunny California, but don't be fooled, because behind the bright skies of Fullerton lives a girl quietly falling apart. Her name is Margo Millet, played by Elle Fanning. She's smart, creative, a college writing student with dreams bigger than her reality. But Margo is also lost, and deep down, she feels like she's repeating her parents' mistakes. One day, everything changes. At college, she catches the attention of her professor, Mark, played by Michael Angarano. At first, he praises her writing, calls her brilliant, even says she belongs at Harvard. But there's something wrong underneath the praise, something dangerous. Because Mark is married, and slowly praise turns into attention, and attention turns into something else. A secret affair begins, and Margo, despite warnings from her best friend Becca, falls into it completely. But what she doesn't realize is this relationship is not love, it's a trap. Then comes the shock. Margo finds out she is pregnant, and everything freezes. Mark, he disappears emotionally. He doesn't want responsibility. He pushes distance and subtly suggests she fix the problem. But Margo makes a decision that will change everything. She is going to keep the baby, and she will name him Bodhi. But keeping the baby means war with reality. Her mother, Shyanne, played by Pfeiffer, is terrified, because she recognizes the pattern immediately. A young woman, a baby, no stable father, a cycle repeating itself. And then we meet Margo's father, Jinx, played by Offerman, a former wrestler, recently out of rehab, a man full of broken promises, but also strange tenderness. Meanwhile, life doesn't slow down. Bills pile up. Margo loses her job. And suddenly, survival becomes the only goal, because nobody is coming to save her. Not Mark, not the system, not even her family fully. And that's when everything shifts. Margo makes a decision that shocks everyone, a decision that will define the entire series. She turns to OnlyFans. But this isn't just survival, it's transformation. Because Margo doesn't just sell content, she creates an alter ego, a persona, something unreal, something powerful. And just like that, Margo becomes HungryGhost. But what happens next changes everything, because this isn't just about money anymore. It's about identity, power, and survival in a world that gives her no other choice.
Margo is now a mother, and nothing prepares her for what comes next. Not school, not love, not life, nothing. Baby Bodhi arrives, and so does chaos. Her mother, Shyanne, tries to help, but she's distant. She doesn't even want to hold the baby properly, because in her eyes, this is history repeating itself. At home, things fall apart fast. The baby cries nonstop. No sleep, no money, no stability, just exhaustion. Margo's body breaks down, her emotions collapse, and she starts asking herself a terrifying question. What if I'm a terrible mother? Her roommates are overwhelmed. Even simple survival becomes a problem. Diapers run out, rent becomes uncertain, and the world gets smaller every day. But Margo keeps going, because she has no choice. And through all of this, Becca is still on the phone, still listening, still watching her fall apart. Meanwhile, something unexpected is happening. Jinx, her father, is trying to come back. He gets out of rehab, reads Margo's messages, and makes a decision. He's going to find her. And just like that, he arrives, uninvited, unstable, but trying. And Margo lets him stay, because deep down, she still needs a father, even if she doesn't trust him. But things don't get easier. Margo loses her job, her roommates prepare to leave, and suddenly she is alone again, except for a baby who never stops crying. And that's when desperation begins to take over, because survival is no longer optional. It is everything.
Margo is running out of options, fast. So she does the only thing she can think of. She demands money from Mark. $3,000, just to survive, just to keep her baby alive. But Mark refuses responsibility and instead turns the situation against her. At the same time, Mark's powerful family steps in, and suddenly, Margo is not just a mother. She is a problem, a legal threat, a liability. They offer her a deal, a trust fund for Bodhi, $50,000 now, maybe $300,000 later. But there is a catch, a dangerous catch. She must disappear. No college, no contact, no Mark. And she must sign an NDA. And Margo agrees, not because she wants to, but because she is cornered. Meanwhile, emotional chaos spreads everywhere. Shyanne is getting married. Kenny seems kind, but unaware of the truth. Jinx tries to stay sober, but struggles with who he is. Everyone is pretending. Everyone is surviving. And then something else begins. A new idea. A dangerous idea. Because Margo realizes something. If she can't survive in the system, she will create her own system. And that's when OnlyFans becomes more than survival. It becomes strategy. It becomes identity. It becomes power. But just when things feel like they might stabilize, everything gets worse again. Friends leave, jobs disappear, and Margo is pushed further into isolation. And then, a notification arrives, her first subscriber, and everything shifts.
By the end of episode 3, Margo is no longer who she used to be. She is a mother, a survivor, and now a digital creator. She officially becomes HungryGhost, a persona born from pain and turned into profit. But beneath it all, she still looks at Bodhi and whispers something powerful. You didn't ruin my life. A moment of love, a moment of defiance. Because this story is not just about struggle, it's about control. Who gets to define Margo? Her professor? Her mother? Society? Or herself? Meanwhile, every character is breaking in their own way. Jinx is trying to become a father again, but sobriety feels like performance more than healing. Shyanne is terrified of repeating history, and Kenny represents stability that may not survive the truth. And that is the heart of this story. Nobody is fully good. Nobody is fully bad. Everyone is just trying to survive life as it collapses around them. So what does Margo choose? She chooses chaos. She chooses survival. She chooses herself, even when the world doesn't approve. And just when it feels like everything has ended, a single notification appears. She has a fan, and this is only the beginning. Because in the world of Margo, money isn't just money. It's freedom, it's survival, and it's power. And that's the full story of the first 3 episodes of Margo's Got Money Troubles. If you want episode 4 through 6 explained next, make sure to subscribe, because Margo's story is only getting darker and more unpredictable, and you won't want to miss what happens next.